You know what? It's I had a lot of players and former players coming to me the last year, like genuinely concerned. Like, are you going to be okay? Like, yeah, I'm gonna be all right. And he said, listen, it's gonna be progressive, right? The first week, it's gonna be a serious state of depression. The second week, you're gonna be angry. The third week, you're gonna start coming around. You're gonna have a level of acceptance. I'm like, what the fuck? No, I'm good. Like, I'm good. And I think the most important thing is finding what it is that you love to do. That's the hardest part. And it took work. Like, basketball was born to play. For the second phase, what we're doing, it took a lot of work, a lot of soul searching, a lot of investigating and trying things out. But when you find what it is that you love to do, then you wake up every morning with a sense of purpose. So my life it's been great. I mean, I fell into a great routine. I work out 5 o'clock every morning, take the kids to school, get some breakfast with my wife, go to the office, work there, pick the kids up, and then from there it's just, volleyball here, basketball here, soccer there, you know what I mean? And that's my routine. The appreciation comes in moments, it comes in increments, like you go through a moment in time and you realize that you're going way too fast, and you really get a chance to appreciate everything that's happening. So you take a beat and you appreciate it, but the reality is you can't stay there, you know what I mean? Because then you can't ever grow and evolve, right? So there's moments of appreciation, and then you have to move on and focus.
What's up, Laker fans? This is Daniel Beltz, and we are here today to celebrate Kobe's birthday and his legacy as not just a NBA player, but as a father, as a husband, and just as an NBA icon, an NBA legend. And this is just a live to celebrate his life. Drop your comments, drop your likes. Make sure you follow on King Watch LA today. We're doing a special episode. It's the Kobe Watch. It's going to be today and tomorrow. And it's going to be 8 and 24 forever, man. For most of us, we've been Laker fans all of our lives. We've been Kobe fans for all of our lives. Kobe is the reason why we became basketball fans. Kobe is the reason why we are as passionate about basketball as we are today. He's probably many of the reasons why we tried out for basketball in high school, why we care about basketball so much, why you were playing outside for 3-4 hours a day until the lights went out. He's why we are who we are as Los Angeles Laker fans, as just basketball connoisseurs. Today was tough watching all the tributes that not only the entire NBA family put out, but as well as Major League Baseball, sports, celebrities. You felt Kobe's impact not just in sports, but in life with everyday things. If you're too tired to go to work, you still go to work because of the mama mentality. And that's what I believe. Everyone tries to put their best foot forward, and just we love the game of basketball, love the game of life. And you were able to see Kobe display that every single time you saw him on TV. He was exuding happiness every time you saw him. Like, you could see his face light up whenever he talked about his family. You can see his face light up whenever he talked about like another NBA player. And that's probably the best person you could aspire to be, because you want to put your best foot forward. And I believe Kobe did that every day. And even basketball, after basketball, family man, outside of my family and friends, probably the most impactful person that I wouldn't say I've known, because I don't know him personally, but we, from the ages of I was 6 in 98, when I first got into basketball. I'm 28 now. For 16, 18 years, that was it. Kobe was who I watched every single day. You saw him from October basically through June each time, and a lot of nights watching Kobe. And then you'd play NBA 2K, you'd play NBA Live, and you'd play the Laker franchise. So you basically saw Kobe Bryant every day, either on TV or a video game, or you try to play like him, like on the basketball court. You practiced game winners, you practiced anything. It was just Kobe 24/7. And today we not only celebrate Kobe, but we celebrate Gigi. Gigi was Kobe's spitting image. Gigi was the mamacita, and the amount of love she not only had for her dad, but the rest of her family, her teammates, and you could see with Gigi, she embodied that. Let's just live life to its fullest. Let's be as happy as we can be. Let's do whatever it takes to put a smile on someone else's face. And it's saddening. And if you go too far down into like a rabbit hole and you watch all this stuff, you'll get depressed. But I don't think they would want us to be depressed. They would want us to celebrate them because they always wanted to be as happy as they could be. I think Vanessa's been the bravest person through all of this. She's handled this gracefully. She's given Laker fans and the rest of the NBA world more than we deserve. She's been very giving with like what she posts, how involved she lets us Laker fans be into kind of just remembering and carry on Kobe's legacy. And like, we have to thank her for that. We have to give her flowers, and we just have to be supportive in whatever way we can. She's been handling this tremendously well. And like her Instagram post today, she's hurting inside, but you just got to put your best foot forward every day and just celebrate life. And today we're going to just talk about my favorite Kobe memories, favorite Kobe series, favorite Kobe games, funniest things that Kobe did on and off the basketball court, just all of that stuff. And I've been wanting to do this for a while. It was hard to kind of talk about this because death is so final, so finite. And personally, we all lost Kobe. I lost my dad as well this year. And my dad and Kobe were the two main reasons why I got into the game of basketball as a player in AAU, high school, and then just continuing to watch after that. That's two main reasons why I care about the game so much. And just dealing with death is just so finite. So we try not to think about that too much. And we want to think about basketball as like an escape from all that. And Kobe was our escape for 20 years as the Los Angeles Lakers. So we're just going to celebrate his life in that regards. Let's see. The first time I remember watching Kobe was in '98 with when you saw the Last Dance trailer, when you saw Kobe and Mike, that's like the first memory I have of the Los Angeles Lakers. As a kid, I didn't know Laker basketball without Kobe. I was way too young for the Magic years. And in '96, I was 4. I really didn't watch, because who's going to remember basketball at the age of 4? But 6, like when you start remembering stuff that you're watching. And I remember this young kid going up against the greatest player of that time, and it was Kobe. And you saw that he didn't shy away. And then after that, you see the air balls. And that's one thing I like with Kobe. And as being a Laker fan for 20 years, as being a Kobe fan for 20 years, we were there for everything. We were there for the highlights. We were there for the lowlights. We were there for every win. We were there for every loss. He didn't really make excuses. He just kind of took it as what it was and just promised each year to come back and get better. And thankfully for us, he did every single year. And '99, you saw him kind of become who he was after the All-Star game, after the dunk contest. You kind of saw like the bright lights. You saw him and Shaq develop that bond. And like this is going to be a very sporadic podcast episode because, like, again, it's a very emotional one. And anytime like a random thought popped up into my head, I'm going to probably say it, just because you can try to script these talks and these things about Kobe's legacy, but until you actually do it and speak about it, you don't know what's going to come to your mind. You don't know what emotions are going to show. Things I've loved, like Ronzo Bar right here said, is Uncle Pau. Every time I've seen Pau Gasol tweet or go on Instagram Live or post pictures with Vanessa and the kids, I won't say I cry, but get a little teary-eyed. You would want someone to have your back like that after you leave this life. You would want someone to care for your family, your loved ones, as much as he did. And for all those people that said Kobe was a terrible teammate, you don't get that kind of love. You don't get that kind of respect. You don't get that kind of person in your life to be there for your family members if that doesn't happen. And it's not just Pal that's there for Vanessa. It's not just him singular. It's a lot of like your teammates. You saw with the funeral, with the celebration of life. You saw with Shaq, Fish, Odom, Phil. You saw with even current Lakers as Kuzma, LeBron, AD. They're all there just for like the legacy of Kobe Bryant and to help out in his current life. And again, it's just cool to see certain players, certain people step up into your life to, they're not there just for the highs and lows. Like I said, they were there for when Kobe was down as well. So, yeah, 8 and 24 forever. And I just want to give a huge thank you to TPJ for not only giving us this platform to talk Kobe, to talk Lakers basketball on, but just producing all of the graphics you've seen for the show and the highlight tape of Kobe Bryant's the first 4 days after he passed away in LA. Staples, LA Live was crazy, and they were able to capture some film, capture like raw fan emotions of like that entire thing, and like that's special. That's something that they will have in their cameras for many years to come, and it's just it's dope to see. Like it's crazy to see the outpouring of love that has come from the entire world, because you could say like I've had this question asked to me like from friends and like random acquaintances I meet, who's a celebrity's death that has affected you the most, and it's Kobe. He was our escape from bad grades in school, parents yelling at you, certain things didn't go your way. When you kind of get depressed as a kid, Lakers basketball is an escape. And like Kobe was that escape. So like when we say Laker fans, like we're celebrating this postseason, like in his honor, we actually mean that. Like it's a way for us to find happiness in the game of basketball, because like for a while it was gone. Like after he retired, we love the new kids, we love the new guys, but like it wasn't Kobe. Like no one compares to Kobe because we were ass. Now we're back in the playoffs, and you see so many current players on the Laker roster share a connection with Kobe. You saw Kuzma work out with Kobe, Dwight played with Kobe, AD and LeBron played with Kobe on Team USA. Kobe and Rajon had this special bond where they're just fierce competitors, and you have heard each other speak about how much love they had for the other person. You saw KCP and Kobe share some brief moments. You saw one of the funniest Kobe memories in my memory is when KCP took that shot and Kobe left right after. That was one of the funniest things I've seen Kobe do, because like I don't even think he meant it intentionally. He didn't intend to be funny, but he was like, I'm out if that's how it's going to go. Basically, he's got to get his family home, daughter's home. They got school the next morning, and it was just funny as hell. And then yeah, it's Kobe's birthday. We're all going to talk about Kobe. This might sound repetitive, but he's my favorite player of all time, and he is, I think he's the greatest of all time, at least top 5. You can put Jordan, you can put whoever you want in front of him, but to me, as a basketball person, he's the best player I've seen with my own eyes, and he's the best player that I've seen in the generation. He's the best player that I got to witness night in, night out play the game of basketball, and he so happened to have a Lakers jersey. You think of early 2000s, like D. Wilson said, and just make sure you guys drop a like, follow on Hoops and Brews, follow on King Watch LA. We're providing dope Laker content throughout the entire playoffs, and hopefully for many years to come when the Lakers hold number 17 up in the air, number 18 up in the air. And yeah, just drop a like, make sure to subscribe to all those platforms. And yeah, this is just gonna be a fun episode. It's just gonna be a remembrance. It's gonna be just voicing whatever the hell I want to talk about with his life, and hopefully some others join in later, like TPJ and Pavi, and then we'll see about who else wants to join in. Like D. Wilson said, when you think about the early 2000s, it's all Kobe. Not only because of how he played, but kind of like his attitude, the All-Star games. Kobe loved showing out in All-Star games, and that's what he did. There's a reason why I believe he has 4 All-Star MVPs. To me, the best All-Star MVP he had was when he shared it with Shaq, and he was able to give that to Sharif. And Sharif has definitely taken a we're gonna add Cam right now. What's up, Cam?
What's going on?
How we doing, man?
Oh man, crazy day. How you guys doing?
Pretty good, man. We're just celebrating the life that Kobe lived, and Kobe's continuing to live on. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. What I miss?
Just give a brief just chat about his life and his impact on the current game of basketball, the current Laker connections he has, and just kind of going through what he meant to like many Laker fans across the world.
Oh man, clearly he meant a lot to everybody. I don't know if you guys had a chance to go see the memorial down there at outside Staples Center. I mean, Clearly he touched a lot of lives. In fact, today at Chargers practice, I had a chance to follow up with head coach Anthony Lynn. Some of you guys may know he visited the Chargers a couple years ago at their training camp to kind of give them some emotional support and some words of confidence from a champion. And they were very touched by it. Anthony Lynn had some positive words to say. He appreciated it as the players did as well. So Kobe lives on, man, through a lot of these players in the NBA today, and a lot of these fans. We see you still got your 24 on your hat, and fans are still fans. The memorials are still going up across the country. It's really. I'm not a Laker fan. Truly and honestly, I was a number 8 fan. I'll be honest. I was a number 8 fan, even though I wasn't a Laker fan. But the touch he had on the landscape of basketball, the landscape of sports, is unreal. It's unreal. So, I just want to call in and give my words of wisdom for Mr. Kobe Bryant, man.
Yeah, and like you said, he visited Chargers practice years ago, and like you said, it's not just basketball that he touches; it's the world of sports. And in the NFL locker room, anytime someone's going to play through injury, you think of Mamba mentality. And as a football fan as well, football players got to play with a ton of injuries every single game, so they have to deal with that as well with the Mamba mentality to go through.
It was. My encounter with Kobe was weeks before his untimely death, less than 2 weeks, probably a week and a day. Was at the LAFC when Body Armor announced that they would be the signature drink for the MLS, the Major League Soccer, and it was at Bank of America Stadium, and we got a chance to chat with them for a few words. And what I wanted to ask them, and I don't know the man, but I wanted to ask him kind of what he thought about educating young athletes, because again, it was a event mainly for kids, talking about, they were introducing the Body Armor, but it was an event where a lot of kids were there, and he was giving words of wisdom to the kids. And I want to ask him kind of the development of the mom mentality. How do kids develop? How would you suggest kids develop that mentality? And what are you working? He says it's practice, and then he said if you practice it, when it happens on the court or in the game time, it's just second nature. So it's not really, you're not doing anything special because you practice it. And then obviously he said it with a lot of confidence because that's Kobe. He put the work in. But that's true with anything, man. It's true. That's not only do I love Kobe for that, but you learn that in sports. When you practice and you actually put the work in, when the game time comes, you're comfortable. Whether it's homework, you practice for study it for a test, you put that work in, you're confident when the test time comes. Whether you're doing a presentation at work, you got to practice and you put the work in. When it's time to present, you shouldn't be nervous because you put that work in. So that really carries a lot of weight in life. And so that's what Kobe spoke about, and that's what makes it so profound and makes it so great.
Yeah, because you can take whatever like the Mamba mentality and apply it to everyday life, whether it's you want to be the best family person you can be, whether you want to be the best student, the best teacher, the best worker. It's literally all you have to do is work hard and show up every single day and give it your all.
Show up every day and give it your all. And then You know what? I was not a Laker fan, but I grew up in Seattle, so I hate the song. I hate Ice Cube. I don't hate Ice Cube, but I got some comments for Ice Cube for making that song that just
Yeah, yeah.
lives in lore right there. I'm not even going to repeat it. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
But that's how long my history goes of not liking the Lakers, but just being a fan of the game. I mean, that's appreciated so much when they go ahead and they win the championship. All right, they win the championship. He came back. He had 20 pounds of muscle in year two. They go win another championship. Then he comes back the next year, adds a three pointer to his game, and that guy just continued to improve. I'm a big believer, a big fan of personal development. That was clear indication of hard work, wanted to win, personal development, and it's a champion. Like that, you can't. It was evident year 1, 2, 3. He just continued to get better and better and better. So that's when, again, not really a fan of the Lakers, but I was a fan of what he did personally, kind of just becoming that champion and made himself better. So that was, again, another message to America. Again, you put that work in, good things is gonna come in behind that. So that he's been a good pinnacle, a good message for everybody to live behind, a good symbol for everybody to live behind. And, obviously it was gone too soon, man. It was surprising. But oddly enough, I don't know if anybody's brought this up. He did say, I think he was talking to Tracy McGrady. He did say he wanted to pass early so people can memorialize him, man. And that was kind of eerie. He lived a full life, but at the same time, that was very eerie. People speaking into existence, right?
Yeah. And like you said, when you get to the mountaintop, like winning a championship, Kobe kept going to work. He didn't settle. He didn't be complacent. And that's just a great message for not only sport fans, but people that aren't sport fans, the people that want to continue their education and go into whatever they want to do. Just because you got an A on this test doesn't mean you're going to get an A on the next test. So you better study as well. And there's everything, like he said, you can apply it to life. And that's just a beautiful message that you have.
Yeah, it really is, man. It really is. Thanks for giving me a chance to chime in with you guys, man.
No problem. Make sure you could tell all the people following and watching where they can find you at, man.
Voice of the Fans, Cameron Buford, Voice of the Fans. You can find me on, hit my YouTube page, man. I need you guys to check out my YouTube page, subscribe, cover the Chargers, cover the NBA, cover a lot of boxing events. So you can find me, Voice of the Fans on YouTube, Voice of Fans on Twitter. What's Good in Sport? What Good in Sport is a website, and then Voice of Fans on Instagram. So Voice of the Fans on Twitter, Voice of Fans on Instagram. Check out the website, What's Good in Sports, and then I need you guys to subscribe to my YouTube page. Got a lot of in-depth interviews, pre- and post-game interviews of the guys in the NBA right now. You'll hear my voice talking to Doc, talking to Coach Anthony Lynn. Voice of the Fans on YouTube. Thank you guys for chiming in. You guys have a great one.
All right, you too, man, and best of luck to your Chargers.
All right. Well, I'm not a Charger fan. I just
you're a Seahawks fan.
I'm a Miami Dolphin fan, man.
Okay.
So we got some work to do, man. We got some work to get to the mountaintop. But I'm a Miami Dolphin fan. Been that way since the '80s, man.
Okay. Well, you have a great day. Thanks for calling in, man.
Have a good one.
All right, thanks. So, like you see, Kobe's legacy not only lives on through just the world of sports, but just the world of life. Anything that he exemplified, you can apply it to any single aspect of your life, and just be the best you can be and be okay with that. Just because you fail today doesn't mean you're going to fail tomorrow. Just put the work in, put the practice in, and you'll eventually get to where you want to be. And I think that's one of the greatest messages Kobe aspired with, the Mamba mentality. Like you saw after he tore his Achilles, he didn't want you to be sorry for him. He wanted to attack rehab, and that's what he did. And even though the career after the Achilles wasn't what we wanted it to be, because he basically said he's going to fight like hell for a championship after the Achilles, but certain trades, certain signings, certain people going, certain people like Dwight leaving, we weren't able to kind of field a competitive team around for Kobe. And those years were kind of shaky, but he gave us one hell of a finale when he scored 60 points against the Utah Jazz, and you kind of saw him go out on top, out on his terms. He was going to shoot the ball as many times as he wanted to that night, and no one was going to stop him because he's Kobe. He's put that work in. He deserved every right to go out however he wanted, and the Lakers gave him that. And the Lakers also gave him a contract I don't think any other team will ever match in the history of sports. They knew he wasn't who he was, but they gave him a 2-year, $50 million contract. And I think that speaks volumes to the legacy, respect, charm, charisma that the Lakers organization has. They will take care of the superstars if you give them your all. And that's what Kobe did. Kobe gave his all every single day. And it's a great day. We're celebrating one of the greatest basketball players of all time. And it's his 42nd birthday, 2-4 backwards. You saw what the Dodgers did. The Dodgers have every step of the way done an amazing job at giving to the memory of Kobe. And Kobe also showed love to Dodgers as well as the LA Galaxy, the LAFC, all the LA teams like the LA Sparks. And it's just dope to see how, like, all you guys in the comments as well, you guys are sharing your stories your stories about Kobe. You're saying that there will never be another Kobe. For me, probably not. You hear your parents, your uncles, your older family members talk about Jordan. Before that, you heard about Magic. Before that, you heard about Dr. J. And you kind of like can tell with their family or with their sport experience, they only latched on to one player. And after that, they were still fans, but they weren't fanatics. We were Kobe fans. We were Laker fanatics. And a lot of us have stayed. A lot of us has stayed. And a lot of us will continue to stay. But you kind of see after Jordan left, people stopped liking the Bulls. And for us, for the people that fell in love with the game of basketball because of Kobe, I think we'll all stay because of that mentality he has, because of the love and passion he showed us. We showed it back to the Lakers, and it's hard to leave that. There's no way in hell I could be a fan of a different team because every time I see a Laker jersey, I think of Kobe Bryant. And I think many of you Laker fans as well share that. And one of the best things I think about Kobe for me is the level of hatred the opposing fan base has had. Like the commercial that Kobe retired to, the I Hate You commercial was, I think, one of the most well-done Nike commercials that they ever put out because it kind of grasped what he was to the game of basketball. Every single person hated him in a Laker uniform just because he would go out there and kill your team every single night. He would drop 40 on your single team. He would get like 35 and 5. He tried to double, and he just went out there, attacked from start to finish, and 9 times out of 10, he was leaving with the W, and that's all he cared about. He didn't care how it got done. He just wanted to win, and that's what we loved about Kobe. He didn't care if it was pretty. He didn't care about triple doubles. He didn't care about any of this other stuff. He didn't care about stats. He cared about wins, and that goes into a lot of Laker fans only caring about wins over stats. That's why we care. That's why we have this following for Alex Caruso, because we recognize the gritty plays. And that's like, if you contribute to winning basketball, that's all we care about. That's why we love D. Fish. That's why we love Lamar Odom. That's why we love Ron Artest, Trevor Ariza, Robert Horry, Rick Fox. Role players that shine in their position, as well as the stars like Powell, Kobe, Shaq, Magic, Kareem. If you give your best every single day, regardless, and if you put the work in, you're going to win, like Ham just said. So let's get back to like younger years of Kobe. Fro Kobe was one of the most athletic, most jaw-dropping talents you saw on a nightly basis. He was uber athletic. He would jump out of the building. Any lob you threw to him, he was going to catch that and throw it down. And over the years, you saw him become into one of the most skilled players that the game of basketball has ever seen. And like we said, that's Mamba mentality. He went from one of the most athletic players that the league has seen, who was a ball hawk on defense, to a guy skilled at everything. And again, you just put in the work, and that's one of Kobe's long-lasting legacy. It's the work he put in. And it was the right work, not like you could work out, but if you're not working out the correct things, who cares? He was there every single day, putting in the correct work to try to make him and his teammates the best they can be. And sometimes people don't like that. Sometimes people don't like to be pushed. But if you surround yourself with people that want to win with you, that's just amazing. If you can be around people that want to succeed with you and help you succeed, and in any aspect of life, whether you're at work, whether you're with your family, whether you're trying to get into a relationship with someone, whether it's as simple as remodeling a house. If you put the work in with the right people, you will achieve whatever the hell you want to achieve. And let's get to kind of not remembering, but kind of looking forward. Ronzo Bar asked, what are your thoughts on how whoever wins this chip will dedicate it to Kobe? I think that the only team that should have anything to do with dedicating it to Kobe would be the Lakers. I don't know, for Kobe's legacy, I don't know how it would happen. How it would happen if other teams wanted to attribute it to Kobe. I can see like individual players doing that, like if they win Finals MVP, or if they have like a great series. I can see them kind of saying like, I had that moment of mentality, but I can't see a team dedicating it to Kobe. I can see certain individual players, like Ronzo saying, Giannis loved Kobe, Harden, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook. All these players love Kobe, Kawhi, Tatum. They'll probably have like individual speeches where like they just said they tried to attack every single moment they were out there on the basketball court, because that's what their GOAT did. They grew up as Kobe fans as well. So it's not just us fans that grew up as Kobe fans, it's players. That's why Tatum today was wearing a purple armband on his left arm to celebrate Kobe's life, to celebrate his mentor. That's why he also wore a Happy Birthday Kobe shirt as well. So I think my thoughts are, I would love to see the Lakers dedicate a championship to Kobe, because that's how much he means to us. But other teams doing it would be a little bit weird. I don't think Kobe would want that as well. I think he would just want the recognition from certain players, but not any team dedicating to Kobe. And let's get back to like the early 2000s. One of my favorite playoff series, the back-to-back playoff series, was like the Spurs and Kings in the early 2000s, when he dropped like back-to-back. It was either high 40 or low 50-point games. And these are the carry years where they said Kobe got carried. And if you just watch the tape, when we played our toughest competition, he was equally as good as Shaq. Mismatches in the finals happened to let Shaq just dominate.
What's up, Daniel? How you doing, man?
Pretty good. How about you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm on a set of happy hour. Me and Pappy about to film another podcast. It's like our second one in person since coronavirus happened, man. Damn. So it's so it's super dope. So yeah, I'm here, man. But R.I.P. Kobe, man. It's super dope that you're doing this, that you put this together, that you even thought about this, man. You're a real Lakers fan. Every Lakers fan should be thanking you for how much love you put out there for Laker Nation.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's easy just being a Laker fan, because every single year we got the best from our star players every single year. So it's easy being a Laker fan. It's easy being Laker faithful.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially with a guy like Kobe. I was never a big Kobe fan when he was, kind of in his prime, because he always used to defeat Steve Nash, who was one of my favorite players. But it was always a real, kind of genuine respect. And I remember when I woke up and my friend, she texted me. She was like, "Yeah, Kobe just passed." I'm like, "What?" And then she sent me the TMZ link, and then I clicked it and it was gone. And I'm like, "All right." And then I saw it, and I literally just burst into tears. I'm like, "What? Yeah. Kobe's dead?" Like, I grew up with Kobe.
Yeah.
I've known about Kobe since I was basically 7 years old.
Yeah.
So I've grown up with Kobe since a kid. I remember when it was a big thing when he was in high school that he took Brandy to the prom.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up with Kobe my whole life, and and it's funny, like I tweeted earlier, that I'm having my kid because of Kobe, but I really am, because when Kobe died, I was like, man, I don't have any kids. I'm about to be 30. I don't really have no legacy, man. Kobe was always an Iron Man. He was one of those guys that was untouchable. He played injured. He played broken. So to see him, pass away, it really, affected me really, really heavily. And I just instantly started thinking about my legacy. And as I thought about it, I'm like, man, I gotta have some kids. So I went into work like 24 and 8 and started putting them shots up. And now I'm about to have my first kid in October. So shout out to Kobe, man. But he really did change my life, just because he just inspired me. And even, kind of seeing in his death, the well-rounded human being that he is and the well-rounded human being that he had become. He had already been an eloquent, well-spoken young man, since he was 17. But to really see him, become a fully formed man, and even in his post-career, kind of see the way that he navigated and operated and talked to everyone and dealt with everyone, that was super, super great. And I'm just really, glad to have the opportunity to be able to say that I saw him live and to be able to tell my kids that I saw Kobe Bryant, live, to be able to tell my kids that I was, downtown by Staples Center, the night of Kobe's last game, and was able to experience that and was able to actually experience a full season of Kobe while I lived in Los Angeles, so you could actually tangibly see, how much love people have for Kobe. So it was super, super dope. I got nothing but the utmost respect for Bean. I think he's a not top five. I got him more in like my 7 to 10 range, but I do think he's in that top 10. I think if you want to talk about winners, he's one of the greatest winners of all time. And if you want to talk about just sheer winning mentality, I mean, he is, it's really got to be Michael Jordan and him.
Yeah.
And then probably for me, Tom Brady after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are three guys that I've known for just having a winning mentality. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like you said, you got that full year of Kobe in LA, and Kobe is LA.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look, it's Kobe, and everywhere, not just in sports, but everywhere. He like the culture, just the environment. It's just what he aspired to be, what he was. You feel that in LA, you feel that around the world, and it was dope because like we've all seen Kobe live. Hopefully, so you at least got one chance to see Kobe in person.
I have not seen him live, so it was unfortunate that I didn't get a chance to see him live. I also am a reporter. I was hoping that over the course of the next couple of years, I would have the opportunity to interview him, especially now that we have this large platform. I'm sure he would have come and tried to celebrate the fact that we're Black media, for the most part, and it's a Black-owned company, and come on his platform to promote his books for children and for the for the youth. So it sucks that we didn't get a chance to cross paths, but I even without me physically crossing paths with him, he changed my life forever. So rest in peace, Kobe. My phone is about to die, so I got to go. But I think it's super dope what you're doing with this and what you're doing with your platform. And it's dope to see you, making content and having ideas and doing cool stuff like this, because I'm sure every Lakers fan around the world appreciates it as well.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Well, thanks, man. And thanks for hopping on. You guys have a good podcast.
Peace out.
All right. See you. And like you said, Kobe's LA, and you can't go probably a block without seeing his face right now, or at least feeling his impact. And I don't think that'll ever go away, because when you think of Staples Center, when you think of LA Live, when you think of that area, it's Kobe. Not just because of the games, with the parades. You remember being down Figueroa when they won in 2010. I luckily was able to go to that as an 18-year-old. That was the first Laker parade and only Laker parade that I've gone to. Bought like a ton of $5 t-shirts that people were selling off the street, and got to see the buses that they were driving down the street with, and stood there for like 3 hours to see maybe the buses for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, but it was worth it because you felt the impact that he had on the city and that he had on this team. And that's why you see all the former players that he played with show the amount of love. And it's just, I really do wish like Ron Bar said, the 2009 championship parade at the Coliseum was lit. I wish I could have gone to that one because it looked a lot better than the 2010 one. And I bet it felt amazing because that was the first one without Shaq. And that first title without Shaq meant a lot. That was him coming into his own as the Mamba. That was him becoming who he was. Like, he was finally able to achieve the only thing that he cared for. Didn't care for MVPs, didn't care for regular season scoring titles, didn't care about all that. He just wanted to win, and that was his first as the head honcho without Shaq. And like it's sad to think about what we lost in Kobe. Like, and it's rest in peace to Kobe, Gianna, and all the other lives lost on the helicopter plane crash. But it's tough, man. It's going to be tough for a while because you wake up this morning and you see the Nike commercial that they put out, and it's just tears at 8 a.m. You see what Powell tweets at 10 a.m. and it's just tears. You see what Vanessa puts out, and just tears. And we're grown-ass men, and we're seeing the person we idolize, seeing the person that we immortalize. We see our hero, our GOAT, is no longer with us, and it's hard to grasp because we thought he was going to live forever. We thought he would find a way to outlive us all, only because he was Kobe. Like you saw when Dame got his finger popped out of place, he went out of the game. And Dame is one of the toughest players I know, but Kobe legit, there was like a stoppage of play, he got it popped back in and went in. Kobe's one of the toughest, I think, NBA players that the game has ever seen. And it's not a knock on Dame that he went out, but it's just how tough Kobe was. We thought Kobe would find a way to outlive us all. When he tore his Achilles, he came back into the game and sank 2 free throws. He had a pretty bad ankle sprain. I don't know if it was grade 1 in the 2000 NBA Finals, but he came back the following game and just made winning plays in the overtime of Game 4 in 2000. Like, he never made injuries an excuse as to why they lost. He never downplayed that. It was, he was going to beat you come hell or high water. If you see me in a fight with the bear, pray for the bear. There's so many funny, corny sayings, but just it has a lot of emotion and has a lot of staying power because you kind of want to have that mentality when you're either working out, you're trying to start a business, start a family. You want to be the very best that you can be. And it's not easy work that's going to go into doing that. You have to continue to fight. You have to continue to overcome adversity. You have to be okay with losing a Game 4 when you're up by 20 points and losing that to the fourth quarter in 2008. And you have to find a way to come back even stronger, which Kobe and the Lakers did in 2009. You saw Kobe inspire his teammates with Pau Gasol, where he put his gold medal in Pau Gasol's locker room. He was going to find a way to inspire people around him to be better. And what more can you ask of a teammate? What more can you ask for a person? And what more can you ask for as a friend? And you're always going to get like hateful comments when people say you're talking about Kobe because you're just like trying to get likes, retweets, whatever. But like, no, we Laker fans, we real Laker fans, we real Kobe fans appreciated him day one. Most of us have at least 2 or 3 Kobe jerseys hanging in our closet and 2 or 3 Kobe hats. And your best memories in sports always will be related to Kobe because the rest of LA, the Dodgers haven't won anything since '88. And you don't really care about Angel titles. UCLA, USC, I mean, I guess USC had the Reggie Bush years, but our best sports memories in LA was always the Lakers. It was never anyone else. So when you think of the best times of your sports fandom, it's Kobe. It's Kobe dropping 81. It's Kobe dropping 63 and 3 quarters. It's him beating Dwight in 2009. It's beating the big 3/4 in 2010. Like that Game 7 in 2010 will always live on for me because I remember being physically ill when they were down by 13 in the third quarter. I was like, there's no way in hell they can lose this game. And Ron, Kobe, Fish, Powell took over in that fourth. And that was one of probably top 2 moments for me, my sports fandom, was seeing Kobe run down the loose ball that was thrown in the air and catching it with one arm and raising his fist in the other. And that was one of the greatest highlights that I've seen with Kobe. What's up, Pavi?
Yo, what's up, bro? I'm just calling in for a quick little second. How you feeling?
Pretty good, man. It's my greatest player of all time's birthday today, and tomorrow's 8/24, so we're just celebrating his impact on Lakers basketball, the game of basketball, and just life.
Yeah. I think it kind of goes without saying. Obviously, you see all the players WNBA, NBA are kind of honoring Kobe by their actions, and also little messages. We see him put things kind of like on their shoes. But I think everybody is who has. I mean, you ain't really got anything to do with basketball. I think everybody just who knew him and just respected what he stood for in life. I think is just honoring his life and honoring his legacy.
Yeah. And what's your favorite Kobe memory?
My favorite Kobe moment is the game in not Seattle, the game against Phoenix when he hit the shot to put it in the overtime, and I think it was off the tip in OT when he won and then did the little heart thing.
Yeah,
that's probably my favorite Kobe moment. That and then just the entire 06 season when he was going nuts.
Yeah.
Probably those probably are my two top favorite Kobe moments. And then obviously the last game was because nobody expected that to happen. I think we all, he could probably get 20 points, 30 points. He'll shoot a lot. It'll be a cool set. But he really went out with 60, which, what I'm saying? So which is what better way for Kobe Bryant to go out. But those are probably my top three favorite moments. So his last game, the shot against the two shots against Phoenix, and then that 06 season, which he was just going crazy, every single night.
Yeah, the last game, Julius Randle was setting some of the most illegal screens I've ever seen set in the NBA, and they weren't calling it. They were letting Kobe get to the rim. And that was one of the wildest games. I'm like, yeah, I think he's getting 30. There's no way he gets 40. And then he goes out there and doubles 30, he gets 60. And not only do they do that, but they won the game.
They did win the game, which is quite positive. Didn't they keep the Jazz out the playoffs, or had the Jazz already been eliminated earlier that day?
They were eliminated before the game, but they still had I think Hayward out there. I just don't think they played Gobert.
Okay.
What's up, Aaron?
What's going on, man?
Hey, real quick. Oh, what's up, bro? How you feeling? I ain't know with you. What's up, bro?
What's going on, bro? Thomas sent me a message on IG. Told me to hop on.
I'm good, man.
Nice to meet you, Daniel.
Nice to meet you, man. I love the hat, by the way. Pretty good, man.
You already know what time it is, bro. Wait, we're shooting besides the camera,
But real quick, though, I'm about to get out of here. I'm about to do this happy hour show. Just want to come on and show love, to the show, and also show love to Kobe. Mocha Mamba. I'll holler at you, my guy.
What's up? How you doing, bro? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Likewise, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so how are you feeling today, Aaron?
Good, man. Good. It was my birthday a couple days ago, so the Lakers got a win on my birthday, big time.
Okay. I'm glad they did that, man.
Love to see it. So yeah, bro. How you doing? First time.
Pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Pretty good. First time visitor. Probably won't be the first time or the last time either. We'll probably have you on when the Lakers not only advance this round, but after the following, hopefully in the finals, we'll have some episodes to go. But what's your favorite Kobe memory?
Man, that's kind of tough, but outside of basketball, because I feel like obviously there's a bunch of obvious Kobe memories from the basketball court, but something that actually truly affected and changed my life was from his Muse documentary when he tore his Achilles. Okay. And he said a simple phrase, and he was like, look, man, I was moping and kind of not feeling great about myself. And then, he kind of pulled himself out of it and he said, you got to control what you can control. I can't control my injury, but I can control how I react and respond to it. And those 3 words, control what you can control, 4 words, is my go-to motto whenever I'm feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or I feel like I got to attack something, or I need to get something done, or something is out of my control, right? And I'm not feeling great. I can control what I can control. And so that allows me to kind of navigate back to feeling or getting back to a place of being solid, right? And that tidbit right there from Kobe, obviously I'm sure he wasn't the man who invented that saying, but that right there was massive for me. And then, yeah, man, that was it. That's it. And then,
so going on with what you said, I draw inspiration with the Kobe 8 series, I believe. It was when he had all the famous people that have accomplished so many things asking him how to be asking him for guidance, and he just wanted more. He wanted more from people that have already accomplished stuff. So if he's asking these people that have accomplished stuff for more, you can apply that to everyday life. You got to keep pushing. And that's one of my favorite Kobe memories, as well as the Facebook rant that he went on after he tore the Achilles. You saw you woke up the next morning, you had a long ass Facebook post from Kobe, from
Yeah,
a dude that I've never seen use Facebook in my life.
never once. That
And
was
I
probably
was
like the
like,
only place he could find a platform to allow him to,
at that time, yeah, that can get all of his thoughts out. And it was,
Yeah.
you saw him express every single emotion. He was inspired, he was sad, he was hurt, but he was courageous all at the same time. And
yeah, man. And then it wasn't about him, right? Like he had, like, and that's another thing too, right? Like I think there's this idea that Kobe was like this like super selfish, like maniacal, like competitor, right? But like especially towards the second half of his career, he realized it's not about me.
Yeah.
Right? It's about the kid who's never seen me play, who I can inspire. It's about my teammates who I can inspire. It's about other people.
Yep.
And so like him getting up and getting after it and showing his daughters the same way, like, look, didn't go my way, didn't work out well. I'm in a lot of pain, but I'm going to show you how to get through that, right? And I'm going to keep pushing myself to do things that people say that is impossible that I can't do, and that's super inspiring. You know what I'm saying? And,
yeah, man.
Yeah, bro. The Kobe was it's weird because I don't know how old you are. I'm 33, just turned 33. Kobe Bryant was literally a part of my life for 2/3 of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everything, and I didn't realize how much that his personality, the way he played the game of basketball affected my competitiveness. Like I'm super competitive about everything, but for myself, right? Like to try to be good at things. And all of that is from him, right? Because I didn't have a father growing up. It was just a single parent household. It was my mom, me, and my sister. And I was like, where did I get this competitiveness from? Because my mom is a tomboy. She's competitive, but like, where did I get this love from basketball from? Like, my mom's not into basketball. She grew up playing tennis, right? So like, it's from him, right? It's from Kobe. It's from watching that young man, get busy and kind of crafted the person that I am. Just me being a fan, that was crazy. So that loss was, I never cried for a celebrity passing away. I've never cried for someone I've never met passing away. I was distraught. So I try to use his life as like inspiration to kind of like, that everybody has the Mamba mentality, hashtag the marathon continues, that kind of energy, but it's real, right? That Mamba mentality is real. And it's not about being an asshole. It's not about, being domineering and this, whatever. It's about attacking every day with a purpose and getting after whatever your personal greatness is and getting after that. What's up, Nick? I don't know you either, bro. I got invited to this podcast, but
how we doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
Pretty good. Just celebrating Kobe's life today, his 42nd birthday, and we're just speaking whatever you basically want to speak about Kobe on, whether it's your favorite memory, a message that stuck with you, that he portrayed onto you, that you live your everyday life with, or just whatever you want to speak about Kobe, man, just let it out.
Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it. I think, Kobe was always about being the best you that you can be. No matter if you were pushing a broom, if you were a CEO of a company, if you dribbled a ball, hit a ball across the yard, whatever it is that you do, be the best at it, no matter what. And I think that's the thriving message that, went along with what he exemplified, not just on the court, but off the court. A lot of people, I know we celebrate him in his 20 years being with the Lakers, 5 championships, 2 Olympic gold medals, MVP, finals MVP, the list goes on, multiple All-Star. But I look at also what he's done off the court and the impact that he's made. I mean, when you remember, a lot of people forget about this, but when Trayvon Martin was murdered by George Zimmerman, and his family was going across the country raising awareness and trying to get justice, which we still have yet to get, by the way, for Trayvon Martin. Kobe Bryant, along with the late great Nipsey Hussle, spoke at Crenshaw High School with the family and in support of the family with his wife Vanessa. Nipsey had his young daughter, I believe Amani, is the young lady's name. They were all in a picture together with Trayvon Martin's father and mother. And I thought that was so symbolic, man, to see a guy of Kobe's stature come south of the 10 freeway, which a lot of these athletes are scared, act like they're scared to come south of the 10. But Kobe came right to South Central, and that wasn't the first time. If you recall, the Boys and Girls Club on Vermont Avenue in South LA as well, Kobe was there a couple of times as well, providing resources and things of that nature. I mean, he's gone across a lot of communities in the Black and brown communities, you know, revitalizing basketball courts, going to schools. That's why he's such beloved in the Latino community. I'll tell you what, you talk bad about
Come
Kobe
on.
Bryant in the Latino community and see what happens to you. But see, that's a testament to
Wow.
what Kobe Bryant, who he
Yeah.
was to the people. Not only that, he
It's
tackled homelessness, man. He tackled a problem that a lot of people want to sweep under the rug. And him and his wife, you know, even dealt with teen, you know, homelessness, you know, and there were a lot of Black and people of color that were affected by homelessness right outside his Staples Center door. And so I applaud him for taking a stand. I applaud him when you saw him when Eric Garner was murdered by the NYPD, and he was one of the several of the NBA players, including Kobe Bryant, that wore the T-shirts when they warm up. Hey man, I can't breathe, and that was a show of solidarity in support of his family. I mean, Kobe has spoken out for Kaepernick. You know, he came out in support of Colin Kaepernick. I mean, he donated his money when Kaepernick was out there. Um, matching, having donations being matched by several people. I think Dr. Dre, Puffy, and so many other people that he had called on that matched his donations for his Know Your Rights campaign organization. And Kobe was one of them. He spoke out in favor of Kaepernick, which he didn't have to. And they asked Kobe, hey, if you were still playing, would you, would you want would you kneel? He said, I probably would. And I believe Kobe because I believe at this stage, he's like, hey, man, what the hell do I have to lose?
bro.
You
He
know?
lived with like honesty and without fear, right? Like he wasn't scared to make. And one of my favorite quotes. Sorry to cut you off, bro, but it was when he was talking about like people are so scared to have the uncomfortable conversation. Like they don't want to tell you that you got some shit in your teeth, right? Like you got to put like I'm gonna tell you to pull it out your mouth, and now we can get on with our day, right? Like he was always that way. Like he wasn't scared to like I'm gonna say the uncomfortable thing that the mass might not like, but this is the right thing to do. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna do the right thing, right? And be, let's just get to the shit. Sorry I don't know if you can curse. I'm sorry, but
no, it's sorry. And like you said with the uncomfortable truth, when Shaq won back-to-back finals MVPs, he said, "Get your fat ass in shape. We gotta go for another ring. Like I need you to be who you are. Like I know you're Shaq, but like get your fat ass in shape."
I'm not done dominating, right?
Yeah, so it's like he's not afraid to have those conversations. He's not afraid to raise awareness, like you said with the Cap situation, with the Trayvon Martin situation. And at the time, I didn't see many athletes in support with Trayvon and like in communities as Kobe was. Like now, we see all these players supporting now with the Breonna Taylor and all the other movements. But we didn't see that with Trayvon. We saw Kobe there with Nip and the parents at Crenshaw High School. So yeah, that was a beautiful moment, Nick. What else can we get from you? What other Kobe stories do we have?
And by the way, I mean, only other NBA players we saw were the Miami Heat, who took a stand nationally for Trayvon Martin. So I want to throw that in as well. But I mean, ironically, man, I've had a chance to cover Kobe a little bit, and he didn't know my name, but he knew my face. So anytime it's a situation where we would talk a little bit here and there. And ironically, the last time we would all be able to see him was at this event where he was hosting for kids. As you know, Kobe was a huge soccer fan. So he was always entrenched in not just young people being great, but, obviously a sport. He was putting on a clinic with his sports drink company that he invested in Body Armor. And they were actually practicing at the Bank of California Stadium, which is the home of LAFC, for those that know. So to be able to talk to him and, say, okay, you see Kobe Bryant, you're thinking, okay, man, I'll see him again. At some point I will see him again. There's no, there's no reason, hey, man, I'll try to get a one-on-one with him, so hopefully before the year is over. Not knowing that, unfortunately, his untimely passing will be just a week later. And, it was so surreal when you heard the news, because I didn't believe it. And I'm like, nah, maybe that's Kobe's helicopter he lent out to somebody. And you still felt bad for anybody that lost their life. I mean, it's not just because it's not Kobe Bryant. They don't have any less value because it's not Kobe. But I think the fact that you didn't want to believe it, like it was a bad dream that you couldn't wake up from. and the fact that you just saw that man a week prior, right? And that's why I posted a picture up today on my Instagram and on my Twitter, because that was the last picture that I had. That was the last time we spoke, you know, at that moment, you know, in at that setting. And you know, it's sad, man, when you see a young man so full of promise, such a global icon that he was. I mean, the man won an Oscar. How many NBA champions do you know go and win an Oscar? Not only that, be a successful author, right?
Yeah.
Have a popular kids podcast that he created, right?
I work
And
in
coaching his daughter, who his daughter was going to change the face of the WNBA at
She
some
was
point.
nice. Oh, she was nice. I work in a corporate office, and I'm at the lowest totem pole. I'm in the office facilities. I'm in the mailroom, right? And but being in my role, I'm able to talk to everybody in the office. I have to meet with the CEO, with the head executive, down to the janitor, right? Literally at every level, Kobe impacted. Whether you were rich, poor, somewhere in between, black, white, like it didn't matter, because his personality, his character, what he did on this earth impacted at every level. And I saw people that I didn't even know were sports fans, right? Like, never spoke to them once, never even seen. They don't have anything in their life that looks like it's related to sports or basketball. And they came up to me because they knew I was a Lakers fan. I wear my hat, right? And they were like, "Bro, like, this shit hurt. I was crying last night, and I didn't, you know." And then they're like, "I didn't even realize how much I cared about this man," right? Like, I was like, "Yeah, it's." And that speaks to his legacy, right? And that right there is enough, right? That speaks to his legacy. The fact that he can touch every level of society, every race, every creed, every class, and it impact them in a way where it motivated them. It brought them joy. Like, so much of my joy was wrapped up in my loss, and how I felt for the week was wrapped up in what the Lakers did, what Kobe did, how he performed on the court, like me quoting his stuff, like on the court as a kid. Like, I remember when he did the little, like, somebody was talking crap trash on the sideline, he counted out how many championships he had. Like, I started doing that. Like in my bowling league, I won a couple league titles, and I was like, "Oh, you doing?" I was like, "Well, what you talking about, son?" And like, so much of his character was like part of my life and a lot of my friends' life, you know. And you know, it's you know, you kind of wear your LA badge of pride, like being from this city, like kind of like growing up as a fan, like, you know, not chosen but born in it, right? You take a lot of pride in what 824 did, and walking with that jersey on, walking with that purple and gold on. You're like, you know, it's not glitz and glam. We grind here. And I'm glad to kind of see the guys, you know, not to take it off topic, I'm glad to see the guys on the team this year understand what it is and what they're playing for. I see a level of effort and a level of focus that is amazing, you know.
Well, let's hope it can continue.
I see, like, just them taking it seriously, them striving for greatness, like just quoting like Braun's thing, and them just having the Mamba mentality. It's KCP dealing with fans booing him every single night. It's Dwight Howard revenge season for him, who left LA on bad terms. It's them just focusing on the title, which that's what Kobe would have wanted. It's what Kobe would have demanded and respected and wanted from his teammates. Like, even when they were trying to ship out Powell and Bynum and Lamar for CP3, when they came back, like, he was like, "All right, it didn't happen. We still got to compete," which ended with the Dwight coming to LA and that whole debacle that happened. But yeah.
Hey, man, well, like I said, and they're still nice, but we still boo KCP when he doesn't show up. Let's be clear.
Bro, look, KCP is my dog, but
so some nights that we do boo KCP, like, what, it was game 1 or game 2 when he was binary Mamba. He had 1 point. But with him, it's his effort is there. Like, that's all I want to see. If your shot's not falling, as long as the effort's still there, like, we can get around that. Like, we could, if I can see you busting your ass, yeah, you have to score. But if I see you busting your ass and getting back on defense when you turn the ball over, when you miss a shot, I can live with that. If you're staying in front of your man, playing great team defense, I can live with that. But we do need his shooting if we're going to continue the stretch of high level basketball that we're playing. But as long as he continues to play hard, we can live with that.
I said the man should be arrested for thievery. There's no way in hell the man should have been paid $17, $18 million with a no trade clause of somebody of his caliber. There's no way in hell.
All I know is
That
Seth
man should
Curry.
be arrested
Seth
for
Curry is
thievery.
on the Mavs going crazy.
Yeah.
We could have had Seth for 30.
Let's not get crazy. He's had
Bro,
a couple
Seth
of
Curry's
good
nice.
games.
Bro,
He's had a couple of good games.
Seth Curry's a gamer.
I
don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Oh, okay.
He's a gamer.
That Seth juice, huh? Okay.
He's a gamer, bro. I've seen him get at his brother.
He's a gamer when he plays 2K. Yeah. But you on the Seth juice, it's cool. I understand it. I get it.
He's a gamer, dog. Anyway, thank you for having me on, bro. I gotta go eat dinner. I just wanted to hop on real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, man, thanks for having me as well, brother. I really appreciate it, man.
It was nice meeting both of you guys. And make sure you guys get your plugs in before you guys take off.
I'm a regular person. I don't have any content yet, but you can follow me on Instagram, mocha_mamba. I'm the light-skinned Kobe Bryant. Yeah, you know.
And you can follow me on all things social media at Nick Hamilton LA. You can also catch me at Nightfall Media. That's NITEFALLMEDIA.com. I just wrote a piece on remembering the Mamba forever.
Absolutely. Right. Great to meet you guys.
Well,
I'm out of here.
Thank you guys for coming on, and we'll have to speak again when the Lakers playoffs go farther, man.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and wrap the series up nice.
Nice. Yes, hopefully in 5. See you guys.
Absolutely. All right.
So it's beautiful to see. We've had 4 or 5 people on, and they've all just been showing Kobe love and just remembering who he was as a person, and also just who he was as a basketball player, and just loving what he brought to the team, to the game of basketball, to life. Like I said, yes, he might have just been a basketball player, a father, an Oscar winner, a champion, a gold medalist, a finals MVP, a regular season MVP, a scoring champion. The list goes on for what he did to the game of basketball, but the things he showed, you can use that in your everyday life. And that's why the city of Los Angeles fell in love with him. That's why the world fell in love with him. That's why he's one of the most popular players in China that China will ever see. One of the most popular players just around, for not even just an athlete, just person. His impact will be felt for many generations to come. And my favorite Kobe moment is his last game. I was able to watch it with my nephew, who was at the age of, I believe, 1 at the time. And he'll be able to say, even though he won't remember it, even though there's no chance in hell that he knows even what he was watching, he can say, look, man, I watched Kobe's final game with my uncle, and it was important for him to pass that on to me, and just that mentality and just showing the love for that player. And that was one of my favorite moments of my life, was babysitting my 1-year-old nephew watching Kobe's final game. Just celebrating Kobe's love for the game of basketball with my love for my family. And it was just like a good mixture. And I think that's what we all try to do. We all try to take the best parts of people we know and put it together and put our best foot forward. And I think that's what Kobe's done for his entire career. And like Julian Garcia said, Kobe's inspirational. He's one of the most influential and inspirational athletes that we'll ever have. And it's his birthday today. And not only is it his birthday today, tomorrow's 8/24, and the numbers 8 and 24 will forever be linked to Kobe. And thank you guys all for following along, commenting, and just keeping up with this podcast. This was fun, and I don't know how much longer this podcast will go on tonight. I think we've had all the guests we're going to have, but like, just because we're having this conversation today doesn't mean the Kobe conversation will ever stop. I don't think it should, or it will. You see Lakers, you think Kobe. You think of 2001, we go 16 or 15 and win the playoffs. It's the most dominant team ever with Shaq. And one thing I want to get into before I do leave today is the Shaq and Kobe relationship. And it's kind of a beautiful one when you look back at like the entire arc of their relationship. Win 3 rings together, publicly feud, and there's some bad years, but they reconcile, and they reconcile through Sharif with, you heard one of the reasons why Shaq and Kobe kind of got over whatever they did was when Kobe let Sharif and Shaq keep the All-Star MVP at their house. Like, I don't know if Kobe knew what he was doing with letting Sharif have it and Shaq have it. It just so Sharif knew how much of a badass his father was. But that's when Sharif and Kobe kind of had that. That's when the uncle nephew thing kind of started for them. And like you see Sharif every day, it's Kobe 24/7, and that's beautiful to see because there's no way you can tell me that Shaq and Kobe aren't cool if Kobe and your son are having this amazing bond that they have. And it should show you that time is precious. Any relationship you want to keep with anyone in your life, you can fix it. You can put the work in to mend that relationship. It's going to be hard work. And I bet Kobe and Shaq, I bet it was tough because there was probably a lot of things said in that locker room, a lot of things said over the years, like the Kobe, tell me how my ass tastes, or that I got one more than Shaq. Like, there were a lot of words thrown in public that probably hard to come back from, but Kobe and Shaq did the work to mend the relationship, and they were my favorite duo, as well as Powell and Kobe. You saw 2 different sides of Kobe with each duo. You saw the you saw the young man that Kobe was with the Kobe and Shaq years, and then you saw the adult that Kobe turned into with the Kobe and Powell years. You saw the teammate, the leader, the one that was going to keep the team together. Whereas when he was the younger guy, he was there just to basically raise hell for the other team. And when he was a little bit older, he was able to kind of dictate where the team was going with his words, with his actions, with his sayings. And that's why I believe like the team that only went back to back, like you hear how they speak about Kobe a little bit differently than like the Shaq years did, because like Shaq was like the main guy for that and like the leader, and then you kind of see Kobe turn into the leader that he was for those years. So those are my duos. Those are the people. Those are my 2 teams that I like fell in love with the game of basketball, and that's why I'm still here as a Laker fan. Those teams impacted me greatly, and we didn't know how we didn't know how hard we would ever grieve this, because we didn't think it would happen in a lifetime. If it was going to happen in a lifetime, we'd be 70 or 80, and it would have been like natural causes and just happen like that. But something so tragic, something so just quick, like he was 41 when he passed. Like that's a long life for the life that he led, but he still had so many years with his daughter Gigi and the rest of his family. And yeah, no, today's been fun. Today's been fun talking to all of you guys and just remembering Kobe's legacy. And it's not even really remembering, because how could we forget that career, that life that he had? Like I said, the most important memories of sports that I have will always be Laker memories. And I believe that's how all you guys will remember sports as well. It was watching Kobe drop 50 on the team and then turning the PS2 on after and playing NBA Live. Like, that's what we did. Then it was Saturday morning, go to the park with your friends, play 5-on-5, and spend hours trying to recreate shots Kobe hit. Like the bank in 3 that he had versus the Miami Heat. Like, I've tried that shot so many goddamn times. Or the triple double clutch 3s that he hit versus the Raptors. Some of the layup packages that he threw in, and trying to pass the ball off the backboard and then making it as well after that. Like, there's so many countless Kobe moves that you would try, the Kobe fadeaway, and then go home, watch Lakers, play NBA Live again, and then go to school. And that was it. That was what we did as young kids, as Laker fans. That's why we took this death so hard. And we're not his immediate family. We're not his close friends. And we felt the impact that he had. So that's just goes to show you the level of person he was, show you how impactful he was, to where regular dudes like me who never met Kobe in person, never crossed paths with Kobe. I saw him play live twice, Luckily, they won both, but I've only seen him live twice. Never crossed his path in person, but he impacted my life in more ways than I thought. That's why on 126, we were all in pain. We were all a disaster, like as individual people, but we grieved together as a community. We came together. Kobe brought many Laker fans together every single night, and he did that day as well. That's why you saw LA Life take it so harsh, but it was beautiful. What Kobe taught us was there's beauty in the journey, there's beauty in the losses, and there's beauty in the wins. There's just beauty all around. You just have to live your life. You have to live it to its fullest, and that's what he meant to us, and that's what he'll always mean to us. And I just want to thank all of you guys for following along and just chiming in. Make sure you guys drop likes. Make sure you guys follow on Hoops and Brews, King Watch. Today was Kobe Watch. Tomorrow will also be Kobe Watch. I'll be doing a live episode after the Lakers go up 3-1 against the Blazers. Tomorrow, we're wearing the Black Mamba jerseys, which might be the greatest Laker jersey that was ever made. I have a Kuzma Black Mamba shirt, but I'm going to try like hell to get my jersey on the sneakers app tomorrow, but we'll see. Ready to spend however much it takes to get one of those jerseys back because they're just a must-have, and it's going to be amazing to watch, amazing and emotional to see the Lakers come out in those jerseys tomorrow. And yeah, anyways, this has been Daniel Beltz from Hoops and Brews Media, King Watch LA, formerly known as Zotime. Thank you guys all for participating. Make sure you guys drop a like, and happy birthday to the greatest player of my generation and of my lifetime, which is Kobe Bryant. And us Laker fans will always remember you as we will just remember you as the greatest Laker of all time. And until the next time we speak, go Lakers, and